Okay, so today I want to talk about how to come up with an offer for your seller. All right, so everything I'll be going over is I'm just freestyling right now. And it's not in any particular order. So take it for what it's worth, but I guarantee you these tips will definitely help you in coming up with your offer, okay? You've sent out your letters and the owner has contacted you, or you've skip traced their information, their phone number, you've called them, or maybe you've emailed them, and now you are at the place where you guys are negotiating, okay? So now it's time to come up with an offer. So what I like to do first is I like to ask the owner, and they will, it's going to be one of two things, okay? So they're either going to, so I would say, hey, okay, so what is there a particular number you're looking for? Like what are you looking for the property? And sometimes they will give you, that number. They may be firm, or I want about this amount or that amount. So at least you know what you're working with, right? Or they'll say, well, just give me an offer. All right. And then you'll get that a lot. They give me an offer, which is fine. So now we just have to come up with an offer, right? So, and it's easy. It's not that hard. You just have to use the necessary resources to find this stuff out, right? It's not difficult. But so like what you're going to do first is look at the comps, right? So me personally, I like to look at the 6 most recent sales at least in the area within 6 blocks of the property, right? That way that gives us like an idea of the activity for, for a number to give to our seller. So now you've gotten your 6 most recent sales within 6 blocks of the property. You've gotten your information, the 6 most recent sales within 6 blocks, right? And we call those comps, right? You've heard me say that before. Comps are basically like a comparable property to what you're trying to sell, or what you're trying to sell and what you're trying to get an offer on, or an agreement on. A rule of thumb is, so if you are selling a 3-2 and you are looking at a 3-1 or a 4-2, that's not a comp because the bed and the bath are off. Okay, so rule of thumb, always remember to keep your bed and your bath the same when you're looking. So basically, if I'm selling a home that's 4 bed and 3 bath, every comp that I'm looking at is going to be 4 bed and 3 bath. Why? Because adding or subtracting a room or a bedroom is a huge deal, and obviously helps determine the number, because 3 bedroom is going to rent for more than a 1 bedroom, and it will rent for more than a 2 bedroom. Okay, always remember when you're looking at your comps within the 6 most recent sales within 6 blocks, at least 6 for me, okay? Keep the bed and bath the same, okay? We can waver on a few other things, but not the bed and bath, okay? Good. So now we have our comps, now we have the numbers, so we're looking at on average what these homes are selling for in tip-top shape. And you can kind of tell too, after you get comfortable and you start seeing the numbers, you get more familiar with this process, you can start seeing, okay, well, so if this 4 bed 3 bath home, most of them are selling for say 140, right? And then you have 2 of them same that are comparable, same in the comps, but those are selling for say 50. Or those are probably the homes that are distressed, that need work, need love, right? But that'll come as you get more comfortable in the wholesaling or acquisition process, okay? So, but yeah, so just pay attention to those things. You'll learn as you go. But yeah, so after you look at the numbers, you have an average of what they're selling for and which homes are selling for when they're in tip-top shape, like excellent condition, versus the ones that need love, okay? Now, when you're looking at bed and bath, we're firm on that, right? But obviously when it comes to land size or the square footage of home, those 3 things, you're gonna have to waiver on those a little bit, bend, because the acreage is not going to be the same. The square footage is not going to, it's not going to be the same. It's just not. If it is, okay, but usually it's not. Just make sure it's close. So if the lot square footage is say 24,000 square feet, right? And the other one is say 20, I would still use that as a comp. They both have 4 bed 3 baths, but this lot's this lot size is 24,000 square feet and the other one is 27,000. It doesn't matter. It's not a huge difference. Now, if you have a 4-bed, 3-bath and you have one is 24,000 square feet and then the other one is 40,000 square feet, that is a significant difference, even 30. So keep that in mind. Again, as you get more familiar and you start learning and, you know, just doing this more and more, you'll kind of be able to, you know, just spot things and be like, okay, I already know what this is. So your bed and bath must be the same. One, okay. You have to consider the lot size and the square footage of the actual home if there is a home, but you will have to bend with those things, and that is totally fine, okay? And another thing I like to look at, and this is like super important, when you're coming up with a number for a property, you have to consider the area, right? So if the property is in an area that is super run down, super undeveloped, it needs love, all that good stuff, you have to consider that because that's not going to be, you know, a desirable area for someone, you know, to maybe want to rent. That may also be an indication that there's not many, you know, shops and things or much to do around there. Things are usually further out, or it's just usually just, you know, not a super run down place, or it's just, you know, not a place that a lot of people are going to want to be, okay? So that affects your rental rate, your sale rate, everything. So when you're coming up with a number, you have to consider that as well. What is surrounding it? Now, on the flip side, if you have somewhere that's it's right on the water, it's near the beach, it's downtown, there's shopping centers everywhere, you're within walking distance of this and that, and you know, you can expect to pay more. Yet the house may be super distressed, but look what you have access to. Like you're within walking distance of everything you need. So that property may still sell for way more, obviously in the same condition, just because of what's surrounding it. So always consider what is surrounding the property, because you don't want to lose money and you also want to get the most out of your property. But most importantly, in this case, you do not want to lose money. So yeah, keep that in mind, what's surrounding your area. Think about it if you're moving there. Like if you want to buy a house and there's like 5 different rundown houses on each side of you, you're not going to want to pay top dollar. Your seller is more than likely going to be the same way. So keep that in mind. Now we're going in the house, and you're going to pay attention to like some of the most important things that you want to look for is the structure. How is the structure? Is the flooring decent? Meaning, can you walk without it shaking, bouncing? Are there any soft spots? Are there any noticeably obvious holes in the floor? That is a big part of what's going to help you with your offer. If the structure is horrible, that may, you know, that's obviously you're going to have pay for labor. And in this economy, material and labor, everything's just gone up. It's ridiculous. So definitely, if you have holes in the floor, I come across properties like that all the time. Holes in the floor, soft spots everywhere, no flooring at all. You're gonna have to have someone go in there and like fix the joists. Then you're gonna have to put this like all the sub flooring, and then you're gonna have to go and get more flooring and the padding to go underneath the flooring. I can't think of the name right now, but everything that you need, material. If you want to do tile, then that's something totally different, but tile is even more. It's just a lot, okay? So pay attention to these things. Take plenty of pictures. Like, I can't stress that. Take video, do a walkthrough, and also take pictures. And that will also help you too, because I don't care how good your memory is, take the pictures, okay? And then when you're negotiating with the owner, I do this all the time. I'll send pictures and show them exactly what I'm talking about so they can see. And like, okay, sometimes they're absentee owners, which means they are out of the state or whatever. They're far, whatever. They're not there. They're not living in the actual property. If they're not there, that's a big help too, so they can see what's going on and yeah, know what you're talking about. Like, they know that you're not trying to BS them or run game on them. You're just trying to be straight up and like, hey, this is what I'm talking about. Look at it. So yeah, go in there, take pictures, check the structure, look at the walls. Have they been torn into? Have people gotten into the property? Are they stealing the copper? Are they like, is everything destroyed? That plays a big part, because guess what, now I have to buy more material to repair the walls and the frame, everything. And if they've taken the, you know, if I have to do work to the electric, like the wiring for the power, then that's a whole nother ball game too. Electrical and plumbing are super expensive, okay? There's no HVAC or AC, you know, or window units or whatever. Even if there is, hey, well, you have the right to tell that seller, I mean, because this is what you want to do. Hey, I'm gonna have to put in an HVAC system. I want to modernize the property. I want to make it desirable for whomever I sell it to or rent it to. So, you know, I have to consider those costs as well, because nothing is here. All right, so that's another cost that you can consider within your offer to your seller. All right, because it's 2023, we want to make everything, you know, you want to be in the competitive in the market, and so you want central AC. That's what we want. So you also want to look at the roof, okay? Roofing is important. That's a huge cost. So if there is half a roof, or if shingles are missing, or if there's been water damage where you can see the roof is like falling and caving in and all that crazy stuff, then you know that you're gonna have a big cost in replacing that roof, okay? I don't care how big, how small, the bigger, the more expensive, but even the smaller ones are a few grand, okay, to fix and change a roof and all that good stuff. So that's something that you definitely want to pay attention to. Take plenty of pictures so you can send them to them and let them know. So that helps you with your offer, okay? We are considering factors that we are seriously going to have to consider once we purchase this, okay? So, and some of this you can normally get on your own beforehand, but actually do your own research with the property taxes and see what they owe, okay? Even before the title search, you can see if they are current, and what the title search is going to do, it will tell you exactly what they owe, interest, and everything else, okay? So it's going to come up regardless, but you still do your research. So I can say, hey, I want to offer them this, but they owe $5,000 in taxes. I have to cover that within the offer. And that's really going to help you on the other end when it comes to making an offer with your buyer, because you want to, the buyer's going to pay for everything. The buyer is going to pay the owner, and the buyer is going to pay your commission. And you also want the buyer to cover any taxes or any fines that may be on there. Definitely do that, because and in some cases I've had owners that are like, I'll pay for the taxes that are owed, and which is pretty cool too. So it just depends, you know, read the room, feel out your seller and know where they are, but definitely do your own research. Just go to whatever county it's in, go to their taxes like you would yours, put their information in, you'll get their taxes, and then you'll be good to go. Those are some things that will really help you in your offer, you know. And then you have the other things too, like the cost of material, what you're gonna need and all that. So it's just, you know, and after a while it'll get, you know, it'll just be easier. You'll be able to do it. Like now, I'll go out and I'll do everything, those things. I'll take pictures and I'll take video. I'll look at the taxes. I pay attention to everything that's surrounding me. If I'm next door to a Publix, or am I next door to a crack house? I don't know. Like, you know, so just pay attention and then be confident. The most important thing is be confident. So you can tell them, just, hey, this is why my offer is what it is. You have supporting documents. You're not just shooting things out of nowhere and like leaving them clueless. You're being very informative. You're engaging them, so that opens the door for them to ask questions. You want them to feel super comfortable. So those are some things that you want to do. I hope that helps you guys. Be confident, get those letters out, skip trace those numbers, find a platform that will help you get comps on properties for wholesale. I would just Google wholesale apps, or there's a few, but you guys can find them, okay? Just look for apps for wholesale agents, okay? Find one that suits you best. The one that I use, I love it. It gives me comms. And on those apps too, you're going to find that you can see the transaction history. You can order, you can get deeds, the past deeds. So you have so much access to everything. And you're also able to skip trace on them, so you can get access to the phone numbers, emails, addresses. So if you want to send a letter, if you want to make a phone call, if you want to send an email, there are a plethora of options. So your level of comfortability is always, you'll always have that, because some people aren't comfortable on the phone, so they want to send letters. Go ahead and send a letter. Some people feel like sending letters are a waste of time, so they don't mind calling. I've been cursed out before because people are very sensitive about their properties, so I kind of rather would not call, but sometimes I do, but I more so send letters, and I have had a good experience with that. So that's my go-to, and I highly recommend that. I have another video on that if you want to learn about driving for dollars and what works for me. So go check that out. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and you guys tell me what you want me to talk about more on as far as wholesale is concerned. And okay, I'm gonna go watch Power again because I was kind of half asleep. But yeah, anyways, see y'all later. Bye. Peace out.